Hello, good evening. My name is Eyehato, and today we are having another episode of Let's Talk Show. This is all about Nigeria and Nigerians and the current situation, the Nigerian government, corruptions, and all that you would like to know about in Nigeria. We are going to talk about the recent problem or one of the major problems in Nigeria. Today we are going to talk about the hike in fuel price, which is driving Nigeria economy into the ground, having hyperinflation that Nigerians cannot deal with minimum wage still resting around 18,000 naira, and the no government are very reluctant to pay 30,000 naira as minimum wage, even when it was attempt was made in the last time to increase it to 30,000 naira. So with this increase in fuel price, Nigerians are battling, they are struggling to to cope with the new price because it affects every aspect of their lives. And I think this is a major problem now. And that is why we are talking about it today. But just stay close. We are coming back in a second. Hello, welcome back. This is Let's Talk Show with Eyehato. The program we are using the standard cassette to broadcast this program. If you are just joining us, we are going to talk about Nigeria today. There is a chaos in the country. There is cry for help in Nigeria. There is so much austerity, so much hardship that the people are so confused they don't know what to do. Living day by day has become so difficult. There are reports of mothers selling their children to survive. There are increase in suicide rates. There are increase in crime, courtism, and street thuggery because of lack of job. Even for those who have jobs, the stipend that are being paid at the end of the month is not enough for them to take care of themselves, let alone additional person like their family, wives and kids, or husbands and kids. So it is a very huge problem, and the governments are very confused, which I suspect are very confused or not knowing how to deal with it. I think that is where we are at the moment. Nigerian government needs help. I think one of the main issues, the first part they need to address in the problem in the country is large scale of corruption. With all the resources in the country, the Nigerian government have not been able to block all the leakages that is causing them so much problems. You expect that when the government changes hands, you will expect that the new government will launch an investigation into how finance have been spent in the last administration. Nothing is happening so far. Even the SERAP, a group in Nigeria, anti-corruption group, had written to the president of Nigeria asking him to please investigate the money alleged payment of the alleged payment of subsidy over the years amounting to billions. The president did not even respond. I know they've sued him and dragged him to court, but knowing Nigeria and the legal system, the president or the federal government would have no respect for the rule of law. The rule of law, they will expect the common man, the Nigerian people, to follow, to obey. This is another problem of it. While we are asking the government to try to block the leakage, the financial leakage that is affecting the country, the government also need to learn to obey the rule of law. They have to promote the law. They have to lead by example, so that when a rich man, a very popular politician, is indicted in financial misappropriation, corruption, they should not be going scot free because they are politicians. So, if the government are able to do this, Nigeria will start falling into the right track, because a lot of they will see that. I know in many government parastatals they have what they call the ghost workers. Ghost workers, the government officials just put names of people in payroll. They are not actually working. All this money goes to their bank account. There are so many things going on in Nigeria, and the people suffering in the most are the common man on the street. There is no proper roads. I went to Nigeria last year. Was it last year? I think last year I went to Nigeria, and I saw that in 2022, at the time, 2022, Nigerian roads were still abysmal. It was very disgraceful to see Nigerian road with sand taking half of the road, with water channels, or in fact it is open, very dangerous. There is no safety. There is not even a speed limit on the road where people, children pass all the time. So the system, the Nigerian government, Nigeria as a country, is 300 times backward. When they say they are going to a developing country, Nigeria is the heart of developing country. It's not a surprise that recently they're now saying Nigeria is almost being the poverty country of the world. We are taking over from India with billions population. We are over 200 million, but we are taking over India. China is billion population. They have poor people in the country, but not as poor as those in Nigeria. We don't create anything. We take everything. When we start a project, at times we are lucky enough to finish a project. To maintain that project becomes a problem. So now, when Mr. Tinubu was appointed or was sworn in as the new president of Nigeria on May 29 this year, despite the fact that this election winning is still being challenged at the tribunal, Mr. Tinubu first announcement to Nigeria as his welcome surprise was that the fuel subsidy, which had helped Nigerians over the years to pay lower price for pump price, was removed. And though Mr. Tinubu said it wasn't his doing, because he said he had taken a gander at the budget and he didn't see any provisions there. Okay, I had said in one of the episodes here, I said in one of the episodes before that Mr. Tinubu was or have been set up. During his campaign, there were so many speculations that the shortage of naira was to frustrate politicians from financially inducing voters. And everyone knows Mr. Tinubu go with bullion vans. In fact, there are evidence of during the elections bullion van driving into his compound. So they all knew what he was capable of doing. So yes, there was shortage of naira when he was campaigning. And Mr. Tinubu did not hold back. He accused the government. He was very bold to accuse the Muhammadu Buhari's administration, accusing them of trying to sabotage his election. So in one of the rallies in the northwest of Nigeria, Mr. Tinubu said they were trying to sabotage his election. He brought the idea of shortage of naira, and he also brought the topic of fuel scarcity. Now, because in a country that produces fuel, that export fuel, petrol, to other countries, you will expect that they have abundance of it in their own country. But in Nigeria, it's just sad. There is no such thing. So, yes, fuel scarcity looms every few months in Nigeria, which further harden the sufferings of the people. So when Mr. Tinubu was very upset about the system, the way they were trying to sabotage his election, he made a promise. He made a promise. Though this rally I'm going to show you guys now was the statement was made in Yoruba language. I don't speak Yoruba, but I know that this has been transcribed, has been translated into text that we can also show on the screen. So first of all, I'm going to show you the video so you will hear what he said. Then we will now read out what he meant with those Yoruba language.
The great Nigerian youth, the great Nigerian students, the greatest of the greatest of the greatest, the confident Nigerian youth, the greatest of the greatest of the greatest, the greatest of 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 the
Thank you.
This is a revolution. This is what?
Revolution.
This election is a revolution. Adọ́gbọ́n, wọ́n fẹ́ fi Fìlàdébàdì ìrọ́dọ́gba. Ìgbà tí ò sọ̀rọ̀ ńlẹ̀, wọ́n sọ̀rọ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ epo àwọn á di 200 á di bàbá. Ẹ fọkàn balẹ̀, a máa gbé wálẹ̀.
Well, you all heard the president at the time, presidential candidate of the All Progressive Congress, Mr. Ahmed Bola Tinubu. I'm going to show what he said in Yoruba in text right on the screen so everyone will see it. But before that, just stay tuned. We are going on a short break. Again, welcome back. If you are just joining the show, my name is Eye Hato and this is Let's Talk Show, which takes place every Saturdays at 7 o'clock. And we use this discussion, we use this show to talk about the system of Nigeria. We'll talk about the Nigerian politics. We talk about the Nigerian poverty, Nigerian corruptions. Yeah, everything about Nigeria. We are going to expand this into other countries very soon, but we are currently focusing on talking about Nigeria. You know why? Because they just had a new president. They've just had a new president, and we are focusing on the progress of the president. Sorry about that. We are focusing on the what's it called? The achievement, the progress of the president over there. That is what we are doing now. We want to know what is going on because in Nigeria there is what is very important there, which is about having a 100-day stewardship achievement. So it's very important in Nigeria to have a 100 days achievement showcased to the people. So now, what I do not, or what I don't understand is, what is the Nigerian government going to show as an achievement in the next few days? It's what we don't understand, because as we speak, life is becoming harder in Nigeria. Life is becoming a menace for people. People are complaining on a daily basis. There is no hope. There is no hope, you see. People are complaining. They don't even know how they would survive. They are living from hand to mouth. They are living from hand to mouth. A lot of Nigerians are on Facebook begging, asking for money just to survive. It's social media begging, street begging. Everybody wants to survive. You see some people doing 3 to 4 jobs now just to make sure they make ends meet. And at the end of the day, the monthly salary they will bring home, it won't be up to £100 in equivalent. I think that is very, very sad. Nigerian government need to do something about the situation. They need to do something about the situation. They need to try to help the people. A lot of professionals in Nigeria are desperately trying to leave the country. Those who cannot leave are committing crimes. They are now organized professional crimes in Nigeria because everybody wants to survive. Would you blame them? Would you blame them if they go and steal from a politician, if they want to survive? Because there is no hope. Every Nigerian blame a politician. They blame their politician because they don't trust them. That is where we are now. So we were talking about the video just now, the video of Mr. Ahmed Bola Tinubu in the southwest of Nigeria, where he made a promise that he was going to make sure that the plan to increase the pump price up to 200 naira or even 500 naira, he was going to frustrate it. He said under him it's not going to happen. He had a plan. Okay, question I don't know now is, what is the plan? What is Mr. Tinubu's plan to assist Nigerians? Because anyway, let's just go straight to the first one right here. Okay, I'm going to be reading out for you, and it says, speaking in Yoruba, it said, these great Nigerian youths, the great Nigerian students, yes, that's how it started. If you listen to the audio video just now, the confident Nigerian youth, this is a revolution. This election is a revolution. They are plotting, but they will fail. They said fuel prices will increase and reach 200, 500 per litre. Go and relax, we will crash the price. Okay, now that is what he said about 5 months ago in southwest of Nigeria. Nigerians even want to buy the fuel for 200 per litre now. That's what they are begging for. He thought that when he get to power, he was going to change everything. Let's continue. They don't want this election to be held. They want to sabotage it. Elections in it. Will you allow them? Tinubu asked his supporters, who responded with a resounding no. Even if they said there is no fuel, we will trek to vote. They have a lot of mischief. They could say there is no fuel. They have been scheming to create a fuel crisis, but forget about it. Relax. I, Asiwaju, have told you that the issue of fuel supply will be permanently addressed. Okay, now let's focus on that. I want to read that part again. Relax. I, Asiwaju, have told you that the issue of fuel supply will be permanently addressed. Whoever wants to eat the honey embedded in a mountain won't worry about the axe. Is that not so? And if you want to eat palm kernel, you will bring a stone and use it to break it. Then the kernel will come out. It is not easy to. The last part here, he associated himself with the people, and he said, let them increase the price of fuel. Only them know where they have hoarded fuel. They hoarded money, they hoarded naira. We will go and vote and we will win. Even if they change the link on naira notes. And again, he said, whatever their plans, they will come to naught. We are going to win. Those in the PDP will lose. One, I don't know what that is in Yoruba lands, but the last part says, I am a homeboy. I have come here. You will not be put to shame. Let me read that again. At least we are emphasizing on what he said. I am a homeboy. I have come here. You will not be put to shame. We will take over the government from them, the traitors who wanted to contest with us. They have no experience. Oh, okay. Now, just like many political statements, so should I say that Mr. Tinubu was only interested in the people's vote and wasn't interested in what he was actually saying? Now, this is a question I want everyone to ponder on. Was he interested in just canvassing vote for himself and didn't mean a single word he said to the people on that day? Because what we are hearing now, what we are hearing today is that politicians, Tinubu allies, are now asking the people to be patient with the Nigerian government, saying that, you have to weather it out. You have to weather it out because, we all have to make sacrifice so that this Nigerian country can be better for all of us. Now, this is the angle they are going now. But they have refused to acknowledge the fact that Mr. Tinubu just 5 months ago said he was not going to allow the fuel or pump price to even get to 200 naira or 500 naira per litre. What happened to that statement? Remember, you can get the phone number right on the screen. Get the phone number right on the screen. You can call in today. Let us know what you think. All right? You can let us know what you think. Tinubu government, the campaign promise versus reality. What is your reality today? How are you surviving? How, if not about you, how about the people around you? How are they coping? How are they striving to survive their daily lives? This is our discussion today. Stay tuned, don't go anywhere. We're going on a short break. Well, welcome back. This is live show with the Yehato. The title of the show is Let's Talk. We are just here to talk with everybody to be able to share ideas. And if you cannot call in, I will be looking out for your comment session. I'll be looking out for your comment to see if we can read it online. We've received a couple of comments actually from WhatsApp for people we put it out to earlier because we wanted to hear people's views on this matter. For those who couldn't call in, they send us what they think. We are still going to read it out on air. All right, and okay, let's first of all, the first comments I'm going to read is that of a comrade, a Nigerian from Edo State, and his name is Comrade Adosege. He sent me this message earlier today and he said the remover, I wish I could put it on screen for you, unfortunately. Let's see if we could do that. Bear with me. We might be able to put it on the screen for you. Yeah? Okay, hold on. Might be able to put it on the screen for you. Just see what we can do. Yeah, the Nigerian situation is very, very frustrating, and we are hoping that things get better, but it is not getting better. So stay tuned. I'm going to connect you to the WhatsApp message so you can read it live with me. Again, this is for everybody to contribute, so that's why we're not hiding anything. All right? So join in, don't be shy. No one is coming after you, not DSS, not EFCC, unless you are a Yahoo person, by the way. So, but anyway, stay tuned there. I'm going to call at you to WhatsApp now and see. We just want to read out what the comrade sent in his views on the topic we are having today. All right. Okay. Okay, now let's see. That's not safe. Yeah, that is not safe. I'll read it from it because it shows everybody's messages there, which I'm not willing to share to the public. But I'm going to just read it out from my phone right here on the phone. I'm going to read it out there, so you just follow through, yeah? Okay. According to Comrade Edosegi, said the removal of fuel subsidy by this new government has no doubt increased the poverty level of more Nigerians now. Then he continued, he said, fuel as energy is central to production, hence increasing its price would have multiplier effects on the corresponding prices of almost all goods and services. Then he said, fuel is essential to powering machines in factories and the movement of finished products to the consuming areas. Now that is obvious what is stating. Then with its increase has come of threat to increase the cost of electricity. There may likely be layoff by small businesses and reduction of salaries and wages by others. This would lead to a further saturations of already overbloated unemployment market. And yes, unemployment market, and that is one of the effects of this problem we are facing now. And when there is unemployment, what happens? There will be an increase in crime. All right. Then he said, with little or no formal or residual society safety, valves of for a vast majority of Nigerians, more shades of the dysfunctional of government would manifest, such as strikes, more social problems, and criminal activities. If these are not properly tackled, anarchy may set in. The government must be more innovative in an attempt to placate the most vulnerable in the country. And then he said the social intervention, the program must be transparent and targeted at the real poor of the society. Okay, there are more to what he said, but you get the logic, you get what he's saying. Yes, the increase in price of fuel encompasses every part of Nigerian living. In fact, in every economy, in every country, the fuel has so much significance that it can turn everything upside down. If not, we had an increase in fuel, petroleum here the last time. It was a very difficult situation for most people who couldn't afford it. Yeah, I saw for the first time what's it called, queues on a filling station. People were buying gallons, but it took a few minutes and everything come back to normal. But the problem in Nigeria is not just increment of the fuel price, it is its availability. Now that the Nigerian government removed the fuel subsidy, they're giving the power to the marketers to decide who lives or who dies. And these people are not just doing that. One thing I blamed the Nigerian government for the last time was that the way the subsidy was removed was not planned. You can wake up yesterday and say, now what we did yesterday, we are not doing it anymore. Everybody deal with it. There was no plan. There was no cautioning. There was no way of telling the people, get ready. Something is coming from so date. This is going to happen. Start making plans. And while you are doing that, you were supposed to also put panels or investigative bodies in place that you know how we Nigerians are. We take advantage of every situation. You could have put something down for people to be able to investigate anyone that trying to take advantage of the system. like having fuel and pretending not to have fuel so people can buy it in a higher price. Or another example is locking your pump price so that even when people buy 2,000 worth of fuel, they can only get 200 worth of fuel. Now, this happened in Benin City, and I know it's happening in every part of Nigeria. A commercial driver drove into one, I've forgotten the name of this filling station. I thought I want to warn people, be careful. Drove into one of the filling stations in Benin City, and what he did, he bought fuel of about 3,000. He bought a fuel of 3,000. He drove from the filling station. Before he could get to his destination, everything was gone from his tank. He realized he had been duped. He realized he had been duped. So he drove to the nearest filling station again. He bought another fuel of 1,000 naira. And then he drove back to the filling station and wanted to cause havoc on the filling station or in the filling station. Then the manager was forced to come out and ask the people to refund his money. Now, that is another aspect of the challenge. If you know what I'm saying, that is another aspect of the challenge. Because Nigerian government, they've done this. They didn't just realize, or they realize, or they don't care what is going to happen to the people. They didn't think of these situations, how marketers who are evil, by the way, absolutely evil, they didn't think of how these people are going to try to enrich themselves even more. Okay, because imagine someone that have been working all day, they want to buy fuel so they can at least continue working. All they did was to put money in the tank, and at the end of the day, they get 2% of the price they have paid. So why would the Nigerian government, knowing these things is possible and is happening, just look the other way and let these marketers, these filling stations, this stupid stealing filling station get away with this type of criminality? I don't get it. So you said Nigerians are angry. Of course they are angry. Nigerians are angry, and they are showing it through violence. They are showing it through corruption. They are showing it the best way they can so that they can survive. What would you do? Would you blame them? If there are limited resources for everyone to share, people can eat their own hands. They can drink their urine. They can eat the next person if there's no food and they are determined to live. So now they have very few resources and there is nothing to cope with. Everyone is struggling. How do you intend to make these people survive? Okay, while we read that one out, I got a message from another Nigerian, this time a former deputy governor. Former deputy governor of Ekiti State. Is a very wonderful woman. I've been a friend of her for quite a while. But I'm going to read her response. I'm going to read her response right on screen. This is from Professor Mudukbe Adelabu. Is the former deputy governor of Ekiti State. He said, when I wrote, the first thing I wrote was about how this situation traumatized many Nigerians. Then she replied, well, you may be right, but I'm yet to read about increased suicide because I believe that the situation is causing suicide. And he also said, truly, the pain of subsidy removal is much. This ought to have been years ago. By now, we should have been enjoying the dividends. But honestly, I believe that there is bright light at the end of the tunnel. And she added, wait for the bright future, it will not tarry. Okay, now that is from the former deputy governor saying we should all be patient, that the future is bright. But how many people are going to see the bright future? What Nigerians are seeing right now is bright light of death. How many people are going to see the bright future we are talking about now? I don't even think Tinubu is going to see it. How many people are going to see the bright future? People can't even feel it. People can't even live. They can't go out. Another thing I don't understand is, Why are Nigerians not trying to adapt to the system? If there is a fuel scarcity, which I understand, we probably should start learning how to use bicycle more. Well, it's just a thing. We should learn to use bicycle more. Many foreign countries, those countries we are trying to go to, like the country I am now, a lot of people use bicycle to go to work. They don't even have the fuel crisis. So take bicycle out. Dump those fuels. If you buy it for your generator, buy it for your car, buy it for your vehicles, whatever you use the fuel for. But if you can substitute bicycle for a vehicle, dump your car at home, ride your bicycle. If a woman doesn't want to look at you because you ride a bicycle, well, let them go for those who can afford fuel price. So you have to understand the law of the economy. It's the law of business. The higher the demand, the higher the price. If the demand for fuel comes down, people will start pushing it out and selling it in a lower price. The price becomes competitive because people want you to come to them. They are selling less. Nigeria has thousands of cars. Some of them are not even roadworthy. If you have those type of vehicles, dump them. All you need to do is go get a bicycle. Bicycle is cheap in Nigeria. Get it. It doesn't require fuel. Alright? If you can also invest in scooters, get scooters. Maybe, I'm just saying, that might be a better alternative than riding or driving a car. It's just, we have to start finding a way to adapt. If you have a generator, you can calculate the cost of buying fuel per year. If you can put the money together, try to get a solar system. I know someone in the Delta state. When I came to Nigeria, I visited him. Lights went off, but the light in his house remained the same, not to change. I didn't even know there was light off outside because the system in the house is that as soon as light trips off, his own comes up. Yes, it's affordable and is better option than electricity. Nigerians don't even have enough to supply that, so people are not dependent on fuel. So there are many ways you can do this to survive, to cope. Put your pride aside, get a bicycle. Is that clear enough? Get a bicycle. It's not shame. We ride bicycle here. I was in Sri Lanka. I rode bicycle. I don't see anything wrong there. I know a lot of people here that come to the office, they all ride bicycle. I see them. There's no shame in it. In fact, the government is encouraging people to get bicycle because of climate change. Get bicycle. It doesn't require fuel. Yeah, if your girlfriend does not want to hop at the back of it, let the girlfriend trek. It's not your girlfriend. Well, I'm just saying. Okay, so what we are saying here is the system in Nigeria is very rough. The people are struggling to survive. It's not easy, and Mr. Siwaju need to remember the promise he made. Not advising Nigeria to weather it out, not to hold off, try and live through it. That is not what you promised. We have to start holding politicians to their own campaign promises. We have to ask them to explain why they said what they said. Mr. Tinubu has influence, he has contacts, he has information you cannot believe. So he would have known before he became president what would have happened. So lying to the people just for you to get votes, that should be questioned. So people should start asking the right question. Mr. Tinubu, the president of Nigeria today, has a lot of questions to answer. So if you could not stop the fuel, even 200, now it's not over 600 naira per litre, how do Nigerians survive? Well, stay tuned. We'll be back in a second. Welcome back. Welcome back. Today we are talking about Nigeria, fuel scarcity in Nigeria, the cost of fuel, and how people are surviving. Well, I cannot begin to imagine what the Nigerian people are going through. I have family there. I know how hard it is to try to cushion the effect of this fuel problem. It is not easy. Businesses are suffering because now people have to spend more money buying fuel in a country where there is no power supply, something other countries can do very easily. And Nigerians cannot do it. We've not been able to do it for over 50 years. So, how do you expect a country that cannot even achieve or successfully execute a very small project? How do you expect them to brighten the future of Nigeria? When they say the future is bright, cushioning through Nigeria is going to be better soon. When the previous government assured Nigerians that change was coming, that was the matter. Change. From change, it was the upper level change. And I say another change in the second administration, second tenure, another change. Change part 2. Nigerians were miserable. People were jumping through the bridge, killing themselves because they couldn't cope with the change. And now we have another man who believes it is my turn. As if that is enough to solve problems. It's my turn to become president. He got his way in there. I don't know how. He got his way in there. Nigerians are suffering. Now, does Mr. Tinubu have the mental capacity, the physical capacity, the knowledge, the will, the know-how to get this problem resolved? Again, I believe Mr. Tinubu was still set up. I believe that right from the campaign, when the naira became scarce, when the fuel scarcity just popped up from nowhere, I believe those were the signs that he should have known that his administration was going to be met with controversies, some challenges. In fact, being a Nigerian president, you have to have 3 heads. I don't know how they cope with it, but he is there now. He made a promise. He must fulfill it. He cannot just come like every other government, making promises they cannot keep, and then just go through it and let Nigerians just pick up the pieces. That is what they do to Nigerians. That is how it has always been. These people deserve better. Nigerian people deserve better. They deserve better leaders. They deserve better future. They deserve better standard of living, better education, better health. So that when they are healthy, they can live and do something for themselves and their own children. The government that kept their children abroad, the financial accounts abroad, their businesses abroad, they don't want to even promote education or health in Nigeria. These are the people that are now elected into office to try to lead those who are actually patriotic. The politicians aren't. They are not patriotic. They don't care. Those one we are politicians. They are very good at ability to speak and convince people, because lying, it becomes a part of them. You know why? Those who had lied before, there were no consequences, which is lacking in the Nigerian system. Consequences. When you commit a crime, you're supposed to face the wrath. It doesn't matter, irrespective of who you are. But this doesn't happen. We have rubber stamp House of Rep, rubber stamp Senate. Then we now have what's it called? A presidential lion who considers themselves as president in the Aso or Rock House, where they just use this office as a retirement home. If you cannot do the job, you have the power to step down. It's not shameful. In fact, Nigerians will respect you and use you as a reference point in the future for other politicians who cannot achieve what they have promised. If you cannot do it, step down. It's very early. In fact, let somebody else try. But from May to July, that is 3 months. And Nigerians feel like cutting their heads off. They cannot survive. It's just too much. It's just too much. You stay tuned. We'll be right back. so we're back. Well, we just want you to know that we share your pains right here, and with Standard Gazette, we share your pain, we share your suffering. We know that things are hard. We know things will get better. We don't know how these problems are going to be solved. This is why we are calling on the government to do the right thing, to make sure plans are put in place to make sure Nigerians survive this adversity, this challenge. It will be shameful for the Nigerian government to go abroad and throw their agbada or shoko, to what they call it, throw themselves to the other foreign presidents and acting like as if everything is all good without shame, walking abroad with no security and still feel safe. Then you come home, you are buying bulletproof vehicles. Do you know why they said there is no money for subsidies? The House of Rep and Senate, they provided about 40 billion for vehicles. Are you aware of that? For vehicle bulletproof cars. So the money they said if we remove subsidy, the money we are going to use it to help Nigerians is now spent on buying vehicles for themselves. Bulletproof vehicles, because they know the consequences of what they have done and what they are doing. They know the consequence. They know it's going to bite them because people are going to take arms. They are going to survive somehow. So the politicians are aware already. They are already buying they always bought bulletproof cars, but the one that is still in government house, what do you do with that? Who do you send them to? Why are you not taking those ones before from Buhari government? Take those ones from Femi Bajamiamila people government. Why are you not taking those vehicles that were bought during those times? Why are you not using them? Why do you need to buy a set of new vehicles? All at the expense of the Nigerians who cannot even feed themselves. A young man said on Facebook the last time that, in fact, he was about sending some money, I think money to someone account, and he mistakenly was trying to send 4,000 or so. He mistakenly sent 4,000, I suspect. And he said, thank God I don't have 40,000 in my account, so the money did not go. So I said, you don't have 40,000 in your account? He said, no. So imagine there are people who don't even have 1,000 in their account. How do they survive? The cost of how much is an egg or noodles in Nigeria? It is very expensive. How do you survive? Particularly when you have children going to school, when you have a wife, you have a husband. You have to pay your house rent. You have to eat. You have to transport yourself. How do you survive it when you don't even have 1,000 naira? Nigerian government, I'm calling on you. I'm asking you to do the right thing. If you cannot, stay off. If you cannot, go home. This is what we are saying. We are here talking. This is Let's Talk Show. My name is Eye Hato, and we are still talking about the Nigerian situation. If you are just joining us, we put our number on the screen. We hoped that you called, and we are doing this every weekend, every Saturday, 7 o'clock. If you have joined us, please just so if you've joined us, please put your comments in the comment section. You can also try to invite others to join in. It is all for the benefits of Nigerians. The information is very important in surviving this world today. So we are here providing you with enough information. Mr. Tinubu needs to know that the life of Nigerians is worth more than a million, worth more than gold. He needs to be able to assist Nigerians the best way. I understand that the Nigerian government is planning on giving palliative to Nigerians. I've asked this question to the politicians who posted it on Twitter. I asked them, what is the palliative going to do? How much is this palliative? How long is it going to last? Are they going to be getting it every month in addition to their salary? Because some people, when you share 8,000 palliative, 10,000 palliative, that is not enough. 10,000 is like 10 pounds, 15 pounds. It's not enough. What are they going to do with that? The country they are living in, £100 is not enough to survive in a month. So you are going to give someone palliative of £15 and you said they should try and live with it. That is not palliative. What are other plans that the government are putting in place that they want to use to help Nigerians? What are the plans for the Nigerian people, the children? What are the plans for the children? Let's forget about the adults. Adults will find a way to survive. For what about the children? What are they doing about their future, their education? A father that cannot feed will not be able to take care of a child. What are the government doing about the children? Mr. Tinubu needs to wake up. This is not Lagos. This is Nigeria. You use the idea that you transform Lagos, which is still doubtful, into the presidential house, and then you cannot now start asking Nigerians to deal with the situation on their own. Palliative is not the way to go. Palliative needs to be laced with so many things. There has to be some ways Nigerian government can assist. You can provide a bus for all the children in different areas so that children can take transport to go to school. That would also remove the stress from parents. And there are some things that in the UK they are doing here, which I believe Nigerian government was copying at the time, feeding children. You can bring in the school children meals so that children can at least eat lunch in the school, which is also going to be another way to assist them. You can find there are different ways to try. No, don't give them 8,000 naira and call it palliative. That is just rubbish. Yeah, they keep providing free school books, provide school free uniforms, provide free. In fact, work with organizations that care. Work with organizations and help. You don't give this money to individual person because 8,000 is not enough. 10,000 is not enough to spend in 3 days. I was in Nigeria. I spent 10 days. I spent close to £1,000,000 naira. It wasn't enough. You have to try to do the right thing, Mr. Tinubu. Use your government to do the right thing because Nigerians are suffering and you thought you are here to better or repair your reputation. You are here to actually destroy it if these things are not tackled. If these things are not addressed, Nigerians are going to actually destroy your name. This is your history, Mr. Tinubu. This is your history. Well, if you joined us today, I want to say thank you for joining us. I see people online. Thank you for joining us today. If you didn't have time, I saw some people wrote me inbox that their network was very bad. They wanted to join in. I do appreciate, like Ade, I do appreciate your effort trying to join us today. We hope by next Saturday you will be able to join us. I also know that another Nigerian wanted to join us today. I'm not sure, maybe he's having another network problem. We are going to keep trying every weekend to try to get people to speak about the situations. I know Nigerians are very scared of what the government will do to them if they come out and speak. That is why some of them, even today, they reject coming on a webcam because they don't want their face seen. Whatever they say, they are being haunted by the government agencies who were supposed to be protecting lives and property instead of fabricating lies to detain people indefinitely. So, I want to say I'm absolutely gutted by this situation in Nigeria. I'm absolutely disgusted by it, and I'm ashamed of the Nigerian government and how far they've gone to try to frustrate Nigerians while they live in abundance, live in affluence, and not thinking of how the Nigerian people are coping on the street. Well, this is what it is today. We are going to round up here, and we hope that next week you will join us again. My name is Eyekato, and this is Let's Talk Show with the Standard Gazette. Thanks for joining in. Have a lovely evening.